Okay. Have you heard about Michael Schellenberger and his point on climate alarmism? Do you think the left is using climate change as a political tool rather than lead to concrete solutions? Complex question. Armin, you want to go first? Should I go first?
I mean, I don't understand climate alarmism. There's literally nothing else that could, other than AI. There's literally nothing else that could be this damaging to us as the human race than climate change, right? Like
Mm.
it's the second thing only to a potential AI takeover. Like how, like I think we're not being alarmist enough. Like I'm here to think between the two options of, like, let's say like you there's this much outrage, this much like alarmism is required for what the situation actually is when it comes to climate change. Okay, between us going over it and under it, I hope that we're exaggerating. Okay, like, because the it's impossible for us to get it exactly right. The alternative for us to be exaggerating it, the alternative is mm, taking it less seriously than we should be, right? So between the two options of taking it more seriously than we should be and less seriously than we should be, I'm hoping, and I don't think we are, but I'm hoping that we do an overestimate, that we're taking it more seriously than we should be, because the consequences to us taking it less seriously than we should be is so dire that we have to go extra. We have to, I hope that we're going over. I hope that the reaction of mankind to climate change is much more than it even should be. I suspect that it's much under that it should, that should be, but I hope like we overshoot rather than undershoot. Does that make sense, Ali?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't
I
understand.
think
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think that the second question is also pretty interesting. The second question he's saying is alarmism. I agree with Armin 100%. I don't think that we can be alarmist enough about climate change. Second thing is, do you think the left is using climate change as a political tool rather than lead to concrete solutions? This is a problem on with especially U.S. politics, but everywhere. I mean, even Europe and everything, is that all of these issues are becoming partisan. So, when we talk about health initiatives with that big illnesses going around and whether we should get that prevention treatment in our arms for it, I did a pretty good job not mentioning anything, Armin. You got to give me credit. But anyway,
good,
for
good.
that, now that kind of thing, it's supposed to be woke. You're too woke if you go and you get that treatment to prevent, right? So it's just getting, everything is being used as a political tool by everybody. And yes, the left, when it comes in and when they come in, they actually when the alarmism is unscientific, when it's unscientific and they say that this is what's going to happen in 5 years, it's going to happen in 10 years, and then people don't see those things taking place, right? And it's false, then that destroys the credibility. It dilutes your alarmism that you actually need. So I think that, yes, everybody uses all of these things as a political tool. Everybody uses all of these things to virtue signal. And that is something that is really, really unfortunate. This should not be climate change, healthcare, whether we should get those treatments in our arms or not. Like, all of those things are just, these should not be partisan issues. These should be absolutely clear as day in terms of, what we need to do to get a situation under control.
I think like it's you can't say, do you think the left is using climate change as a political tool, because the left is not one person. Okay,
Mm.
um, given how big the left is, how I don't even have to check. Of course, there's part of the left that is going to, like, you know how many people are in the left. Do you think it would be impossible if there's nobody in the left that is trying to misuse climate change as a political goal that doesn't actually help with anything, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
it's a big camp, but the left is also full of people that are advocating for the right things, that are rightfully alarmed and have good solutions. And also the left is also includes people that maybe are not alarmed, that they see this as a tool to become more relevant, and they're pushing for things that are populist but not helpful. So the left includes both of those kinds of people. It's impossible for it not to include both of those people, given how many people are part of the left,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and Most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.